Hi guys, well, as some of you all know, I'm currently in the process of fitting some new sill covers to my car, to my Aston Martin. The later versions of the N400, I thought it would update the look and you know, give the car a bit of a freshen up really, plus I quite like the shape of them anyway. So I've had one sprayed and it's in the box there, and what I thought would be a pretty straightforward job of just removing the sill covers and replacing them is actually quite a lot more involved than I expected. So I thought I would give any others out there that are fancying doing the same job a few little pointers really, see if they could help them along the way, because there are, you know, you don't want to be damaging your new sills and you don't want to really damage your old ones getting them off either. So first things first, whichever side of the car you're working on needs to be up in the air and secure. I've got my car fully up in the air on 4 axle stands, and to do that in itself is quite tricky, to be honest, because the chassis are so stiff on these cars. You really need, I've got 2 of these trolley jacks, low entry trolley jacks, and it really is a case of one each side, lift a little bit, support the car, lift a little bit more, support the car, and so on until you get it to the height that you're working at. If you're not confident in doing that, then I suggest you leave it, because it really is, you know, a case of slowly. It took me about an hour and a half to get my car on 4 axle stands, because you really can't have this thing falling off and you know, either injuring yourself or damaging the car obviously. So, you know, really have a good think about how you're going to support the car in the first place before you even think about removing the sills. So with that said, if anybody still feels happy enough to continue, then I can help you hopefully with giving you a few pointers. The first thing that you have to do is, once you've got the car up and supported in the air, is take the wheels off. There's no way that the sill covers will come off without removing the wheels and then the sill liners. Sorry, the wheel liners, the wheel arch liners. So inside the car here you can see the plastic liner. There's one on the floor there from the other side that I've already removed and cleaned. So they're quite a big lump of plastic themselves, but they are relatively easy to remove, and you only need 2 tools to remove them really. A T30 Torx fitting to fit those type fasteners there, and a Phillips screwdriver of various different lengths, because as you can see the back around the arch there is held on with Phillips screwdriver. So I'm not sure how many fasteners are in there, but probably about 8 or 9. They've all got to come off, and then you can remove that whole plastic piece from within the wheel arch, and I can show you the other side shortly of what it looks like when that's all removed. And what I would suggest is you get yourself some old Chinese takeaway containers or something like that, something similar, Tupperware boxes, and keep all your fasteners separate, because all the way along the sill and in the front wheel arch it's all the same fasteners. So it's best if you keep the ones for the rear arch separate from the ones from the sill and from the ones from the front arch. Then at least when you put it back together you're not going to get them all mixed up and maybe put the wrong fastener in the wrong place. So that's just a simple procedure really. So undo all the screws, remove the arch liner. Likewise at the front, a little bit more involved because the liner is even bigger in the front, but it's held on in exactly the same way. Torx T30 screwdriver fitting or ratchet fitting, whichever you prefer, and Phillips headed screws. And you can see them there. There's a couple there, one over there. They're all over the place. You just have to keep going until you've undone them all, and then pull the arch liner out from within the wheel arch. To get the front arch liner off, you're probably better off removing the front under tray as well. So as I say, what I thought was, you know, pretty straightforward, just a few screws. Turns out to be a lot more involved than that. and you've got to do it carefully. Your new sills that you have fitted, that you're fitting, have just been painted, so you can't go, like a bull at a gate, trying to pull everything and just chuck them on. They've got to be done properly. So if I show you around the other side where the sill is already removed, that's the front wheel arch liner there, by the way. And as you can see again, if I step back, there's a really big piece of plastic that needs cleaning before I put it back on, and there is the front under tray as well on the floor there, that needs cleaning as well. So if we go to this side, which has got the arch off, you can then see in the wheel arch there, you can see that it's missing, and you have a lot better access in there. Obviously along the side here, the sill cover is also missing because I've removed it. So that's the back, and then the front, same again. Front wheel arch liner out, you can see there's all the chassis rails and the anti-locking brake system, and you've got much better access in there. So all you need again is T30 Torx fitting and a Phillips headed screwdriver. Now on the sill itself, when you come to remove the sill, my suggestion would be that you move all of the fasteners from underneath first, from right the way along. And if we look at the sill on the floor here, this is the old one, you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fasteners all the way along there. So that gives you an idea of what you need to remove to undo the bottom. Then we get to the top half of the sill, and to do that we need the door open, and there's where the sill meets the body here, where I'm pointing here, there's a rubber strip that fits all the way along there. So that's all glued in. Well, it's on some double-sided sticky tape actually, so that needs pulling out carefully because you don't want to rip it or damage it otherwise you have to buy a new one. So just pull it back as far as you need to access the back screw, which is the one in the door here. That one there is the furthest one back. Well, yeah, pull it up to that point there, really, where the join is on the sill cover. And again, these are just normal Phillips headed screws there. There is one that fits right down here somewhere. You can just see, I don't know if you can, where's my finger there? There's one that fits right down there on that half piece of plastic. That's one that's an awkward one to get at. Need a long thin screwdriver, but it does come undone obviously because I've done it, so there you go. And then at the back here there is a plastic fitting, which I'll show you in a minute, which I removed, but turns out I didn't need to, so that can save you a little bit of time. And here it is fitted to my sill. If you can see where the sill curves up at the back, there's this plastic fitting here that's held in place with 2 screws, but if you look closely, when it's actually fitted, it's got a tab there. So when you come to remove this sill, if you can get a screwdriver in and just press that tab down from inside, from there, from outside of the sill to there, and press the tab down and just pull the plastic away, you can do that without having to undo like I've done there. So I will know that for the next side now, so that should be okay. But again, you can see there's fitting down at the back here, and all fittings all the way along that all need unscrewing. And then one more tricky fastener, if you like, is at the front of the sill here, where it fits into the car, and you can see, hopefully I can show you on the video where it is. But if we go inside the front wheel arch, hopefully you can see. I can't get the right. Hold on. Right. let me just, there, can you see that plastic tang sticking out there? There are two of those. There's that one and there's one a little bit further back. You have to press down. Where are we? Where's the camera? There. Right. You have to press down on the tang and pull the sill away, and that will release. Because as you can see, they're pop riveted in, so there's no way of getting them, and you don't want to break that tang. So that's the only one really that really caught me out. I couldn't figure out how to undo that one until somebody told me on the internet. So hopefully, if you can follow that procedure, you should be okay. Those are the real tricky ones to get. So I'm going to make a start now of refitting my new sill that I've had painted, and then obviously I can go around to the other side, but I'm quite looking forward to getting this one on, and we'll see how it looks when it's done. So apologies if the video is a little bit disjointed, because I'm sort of trying to work on one side without undoing the other, so that I've got a reference to go back to if I'm struggling. But hopefully anybody who fancies having a go, a couple of pointers there. Hi again guys. Well, I did say that this video would be a little bit disjointed and might not make sense, but I've managed to put that one sill on, and I have to say it went on like a piece of cake really. So I think what I'll do tomorrow is I'll take the other side off and do a little video of that, so you can see how it goes. But I needed to put one side back on really before I could do a video. Otherwise, if I was just be messing about trying to figure out how it all went, and actually it was pretty straightforward once you realise how all the fittings work and how all the little clips work. Then it's just a case of just literally sliding it back in and lining it up. I paid particular attention to the shut lines and everything along the bottom there, so I wanted to get a really nice even line, and especially where the rear of the sill meets the body here, this line here is, you know, it's sort of in your face really, so it needs to be right. So I've done that now. Everything's nipped up. I just need to go over all the fasteners again and just double check that everything's tightened down properly. But that's the M400 sill anyway on the passenger side done. And I have to say, I'm quite looking forward to seeing it on its wheels, because I think it's going to give me a really different look to how the car looked before. And also my sprayer, I've got to say, the chap who sprayed these for me, I can't believe how he's got such a fantastic match. He really has got it absolutely spot on. I mean, we're talking about a 7-year-old car with brand new paint on the sills. I did suspect that there could be a slight difference, but I really, if there is, I cannot see it. He's done a cracking job for me there, so I'm pleased with that. So as I say, tomorrow I will take the other side off, and I'll show how it comes off, and then anybody who wants to have a go for themselves can hopefully, you know, follow a few instructions and might make them a bit easier for themselves. Okay. See you soon.